So I built the Backrooms in Minecraft. This world is basically endless, with lots of giant liminal spaces to explore, and of course a ton of hallways. And as you all seem to really like it, I thought this time I'd expand it, and build the pool rooms too. I did actually build the pool rooms last video, however they were really small, and I basically just built them so that I can make this insane room that's attached. It still looks just as creepy as I remembered. Today though, I'm going to spend ages building the coolest pool rooms ever, with lots more claustrophobic hallways, mixed with giant open rooms, and even more huge statues. Far bigger than the statue room that we have right now, which feels crazy to say. First though, I need to do the boring work. So this is what the Backrooms currently looks like from the outside, but I want to double the size with the new pool rooms expansion. I want it to feel like an entire new endless level. This is the pretty small and ugly pool rooms that we have so far, but my plan is to actually go underneath it to expand. That way we can later on add some random spiral staircases like you often see in the pool rooms, which can connect it down to this level, which should look really spooky as you walk down. Just like when we built the original Backrooms, I'm going to design one huge 500 by 500 block tile, and then once we have the tile finished, we can stack it a ton of times in each direction to make it basically endless. One thing I did actually really like in the last pool rooms that I made was all of the pillars. So I'll also place down a lot of single blocks, and that will form tall pillars once we stack them upwards. Something unique I'm doing this time though is trying to incorporate a lot more curves into the shaping of the walls, which should add some nice variety. Okay, so this actually took about 7 hours as I did it all by hand, but let's add in the water finally. It already looks pretty cool, but there is one big issue. I don't want every block on the ground to be water, or it'd be more of a sewer than a pool. So let's just add in some platforms all around, as well as some walkways to just connect areas up. Instantly, that looks a lot better now. Now we can probably just stack all the walls up a few times, and we should be good. I'm just gonna select each side, and then use the //stack command, and I think 5 blocks taller should be good. Yeah, if we go to player level, you can see just how cool all of the curves and the pillars look now. I might stack the walls up a few more blocks though, just to make it feel more imposing and empty inside. Definitely we'll need a roof on this, but first I want to add some decorations inside, as if we do this before we add the ceiling, it'll make it easier to paste things down and make sure that we don't miss any areas, as I don't want to make it quite as empty as the office Backrooms are. Instead of filling this area up with office chairs and tables though, I want to design a couple of pieces of furniture, which you could see at a pretty low budget water park. I started by making this tipping bucket thing, and then moved on to make a small water gun design. My favourite furniture piece I made though is for sure these big inflatable water slides, which should look really cool in the giant empty pools. I also built a few chair designs which we can really paste around later, as well as some giant mushrooms, which for some reason most water parks seem to have. Finally, I built some more tipping buckets, as well as a shower, a big paddling pool, and an artificial palm tree. But with them done, I'm now just gonna delete them all, and save them as schematics so that we can go around the pool rooms and just paste them down wherever we want them. I'm trying to keep the decorations pretty dense wherever I place them, forming kind of bundles of furniture. Other areas I'm keeping very sparse or even empty, so that everything feels really off when you're exploring. While I'm going around just adding in all of the pool furniture, I'm also adjusting some of the wall heights. Because we just stacked the walls upwards, everything is very solid, as every single wall goes from the bottom to where the ceiling will be. I want to make some windows in some of the walls, and even build archways between some of them. Once we add the roof, it should really help to give it that pool rooms look. Okay, I think that should be enough furniture for now. It's kind of hard to tell if it's enough though until we add in the roof. Let's just add a layer of quartz on top of everything. And just like in the other areas of the Backrooms that we've built, I'll make a basic panel light, which we can stack across the whole roof. Yeah, this looks pretty creepy now, and honestly a lot better than I expected. I do want to remove lots of the lights though, so some areas can be left in darkness, kind of like the lights didn't load in there. A cool trick that I'm going to use is manually changing the light levels in some areas using light blocks. These are basically just invisible blocks that let you change the light levels of an area. We can use the top level of brightness in some areas to make the pool rooms overwhelmingly bright, and in some other areas have a much dimmer light level. Yeah, I really love the way that the lighting in some rooms just glows through the holes that we added to the walls. This doesn't even look like Minecraft anymore. I could spend all day just walking around exploring. I really like how this looks. And so there's just one more job before we add some huge custom rooms. Let's select each corner of this huge tile, and now use World Edit to stack it into a huge grid. This has been taking like 10 minutes so far, as it's over 90 million blocks being stacked. Oh. Okay, I stacked it in smaller batches, and it seems to be fine now. Just so I can see it all, my render distance is really high though, so I'm lagging a lot. This entire Backrooms map is looking so insanely big now though. I really want to just keep making these videos and making it bigger and bigger. So if you enjoy this, please make sure to leave a like and comment what areas I should add next. Okay, now that I've lowered my render distance, let's quickly close up the connection points that are on the outer edges, so the players can't escape. But now, we should be done with this main area. The vibe in here is just so cool. It's exactly what I wanted. And it's so easy to just get lost in here. All of the decorations though really make this so fun to explore. Just like we did in the main Backrooms with the arcade and furniture store, I do want to add some larger areas to work as main landmarks. The first bigger area I want to add, I'm going to build right over here, connected by a tiny walkway. I've got a really cool, unique name for this area. I'm going to call it the Tall Pool Rooms. It definitely needs a better name. But essentially, this area will be made up of huge hallways that will go all the way to build height. The main inspiration for this whole area is this really cool pool room area once again made by Vaporama Vision. Their artwork and videos have been so useful to help inspire these Backrooms, so do make sure to check them out. I'll leave a link to their channel in the description. But with the layout done, let's stack the walls up now all the way to build height like I mentioned. And we can even add the water in. For the walls, I do want to add some more details. In the image, there are kind of windows that are stacked all along the wall, and I really like that as it gives the walls a sense of scale. It's taking a very long time to add them though, but the windows are especially cool, as you can see through them to other hallways and rooms. And now I've done one layer, let's just stack the windows upwards. This room looks even taller now. I do want to just go around the top now though, and mix some black concrete in to make the transition to the roof look more natural. And like the room just goes on forever. In fact, let's do some custom lighting too. I'm going to place down a bunch of different colors of wall in layers, just filling the entire area in. And now I'm going to switch the wall to light blocks, making it darker the higher up it goes. As you can see, now the ceiling is basically invisible, while the bottom is still super bright. It once again just makes the room seem even taller. In fact, swimming around, the views from player height are crazy. The only problem is the floor only being 1 block thick, so I'm going to just stack the water down too and make it about 50 blocks deep. The thin hallways in here are genuinely nightmare fuel. They're so claustrophobic. I hate it so much, but I think that's a good thing. And now for the best part though, I want to add in the giant statue that you can see in the image. It'll be in this giant room that's at the end of the hallways. Yeah, that looks good. In case you're wondering, by the way, how I make these giant statues, I don't. Anyone who's watched my videos for a while now will know that I'm awful at making statues, and so I often pay my friend Cloris to make them for me. I also asked him to build this statue for the pool rooms, which is a smaller, decorative statue of a Greek soldier to fit the same kind of look. And I asked him to build it so that I could destroy it. More specifically though, I wanted to split it up and turn it into ruins. And I just want to spread these out across the bottom of the tall pool rooms. That way, if you're just swimming around, or actually probably only if you're drowning with how deep these pools are, the last thing you'll see is all these ruins left behind from ages ago, which I think looks really creepy. And from the surface, you'd never even be able to tell that they're under the water. But with that, I think this giant area is finished. I think I prefer it to the giant statue room that we made last video, but I do want to revisit that room as I have a cool idea that I want to try. So you might notice something slightly different in this room. You probably don't, but I added a tiny crack in the wall, all the way over there, as I had an insane idea that this room could lead on to another room that's like 10 times the size, with even more head statues just everywhere. I've already built this new room as it's so big I couldn't really record it, as you can tell by how buggy this replay is. But as you enter through the crack, you'll notice the room is basically endless. You can keep flying around and you won't find an edge for ages. So all I have to do now is add in the heads. I'm going to use the same head every single time, like it's just accidentally cloned all over the room. I'm keeping the spacing between each really random as well. Like there could be some clusters with loads, while others could just be alone. There must be at least 100 heads in here.
Okay, so it's day 278, hour 7, minute 18 since I glitched into here. I lost my mind long ago, but I decided to spend my time making this cool little hangout spot, and I thought I'd show you guys around. So here is my own little private water park that I put together. I'm a big fan of water slides, so I put a few of these together, and I built this castle here to hide inside whenever they show up, and it's worked nicely so far. Yeah, anyways, I found this pirate ship about a half a mile away, a few rooms over, and thought it would look good for my water park, so I hauled it over here. And I am a big fan of bushes and greenery, so I obviously had to include these palm trees. I couldn't find any other plants in here, so this is what I'm limited to. And this Ferris wheel used to work until it glitched into the ceiling, so now I can only look at it. Hello?
I really love this water park that Bubba Flubber made. I wish I could tell him, but he seems to have disappeared. I'm sure he's okay though. The design is so fantasy, but also kind of realistic. It's odd, which is perfect for the Backrooms. I'm going to no-clip this entire room into the pool rooms that we made. But first, I also kind of want to make a water park now. Instead of being really bright and whimsical, I instead want this water park to be much more nostalgic and dark. More of a memory of a water park than an actually functioning one. I'm really heavily basing it off of the Waterworks water park from the game Subliminal. Even though the game wasn't great, the visuals from it were amazing, and I really want to try and replicate that. And as you can see, so much doesn't make sense here, like the layout or even where the slides appear from through the walls, but it just looks so fun and chaotic. I'm adding in so many random slides that just come from nowhere, snaking around the ceiling of the water park, all in a bunch of different bright colours. And finally, let's add a huge grid of ceiling supports, and of course, the ceiling itself. All of the lighting looks so much better now that there's a ceiling. It's so tight and claustrophobic in here. Even though it's a fun location, it doesn't look very fun. Now that we have two big water parks though, let's no-clip them into the pool rooms. I'm going to fly around in spectator mode and find a totally random location to paste each in, so that you can just be exploring and come across these huge water parks out of nowhere. These huge rooms just make the pool rooms feel so liminal. The only thing missing now is a way to access all of these pool rooms. I want to build a spiral staircase that we can stack all the way from these pool rooms to the above pool rooms. In fact, I want to add multiple of these, all just placed in random locations. We can even put a couple in the regular Backrooms, as they'll look even more out of place here. These staircases tie both the Backrooms and the pool rooms together perfectly, and so I'm happy to leave the pool rooms there. I want to just keep expanding these Backrooms forever, so if you have any ideas of what rooms or levels I should add, please let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the rest of this project. If you want to explore these Backrooms with all the new pool rooms for yourself, I'll be posting a free world download in my Discord if this video manages to reach 5,000 likes. Thank you again for the crazy support on the last video. I really appreciate you all a lot. Have a nice day. Goodbye.